Okay guys, I wanted to take a few minutes today to give you a bit of a review on the manual SLR camera. For your midterm, if you can't shoot your roll of film correctly, then printing is going to be pretty much impossible. So I'm going to cover everything from loading the film to setting the shutter speed and playing around with the aperture, including focus. Okay, so back to the basics. In order to open this camera, you need to flip the little knob up, pull it straight up, and pull it, and it will pop open. Once I have it open, I'm going to take my film. Remember, 400 is our film speed. What's cool about manual photography is the guesswork is taken out of it. 400 is what it says, so that's what we're going to set the camera to in a second. But first I want to put my film in. So I take my film out, okay, drop it in, and people forgot how to load the camera. This, the film leader, does not go over and it does not go under. It goes through the middle. There is a little slit carved in the middle, and there's these little teeth. Your job is to get it into that little slit so that when you advance your lever, it hooks it and pulls it around the spindle. Now mine just popped off, so it's not a big deal and it happens to everybody. Just pick it up and advance the lever until it wraps around, like that. Once it's wrapped around, I'm going to close it up, make sure it's shut, and I'm just going to advance until I get the number 1 on top, right there. Okay, I'm at number 1. So, I mentioned setting the film speed. It says 400. If you look on top here, this little dial, this controls your shutter speed, but it also has a second purpose, which is your film speed. It says ISO. There's a little tiny window right there, has a bunch of numbers. Right now, my camera is set to 400, so I don't need to do anything. But if you look down and you see that that number is different, pull up on the wheel and turn, and it will change your ISO. So, and again, make sure mine's at 100, and now I'm actually ready to go out and shoot. And this is where a lot of people made the mistake. Okay, I made a YouTube video on how to use the light meter on one of these cameras, and I will post that link to Edmodo, so if anybody wants to refresh their memory on there, please go ahead and do so. Alright, so I'm going to give you a few tips while you guys are out shooting. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they lower their shutter speed too slow. Okay, right now mine's set at 125, and I think that that's a good number to keep it at. When you are shooting indoors though, sometimes you need to drop it down to 60. Anything below 125, you may get a lot of blur in your photos, and we want to be able to see what you're shooting. So be very careful that you don't go too slow. In this case, the numbers mean exactly what they are. The lower the number, the slower the speed. The higher the number, the faster the speed. So try to keep it in that 60 to 125 range. Anything above 125 is going to be good. Okay? Now, if your light meter is still telling you, I need more light, the only other way to answer that question is with this ring right here. And this is your aperture ring. Okay? What it does inside this little lens here is a diaphragm. It's a big metal circle. Okay? Think of it like a shutter. Okay? As you turn this, that shutter either gets smaller or it gets larger. Okay? So f3.5, which is what I'm on now, is wide open. f22 means it is at its smallest. Okay? So in this case, the bigger number means the smaller the aperture. Okay? Now this controls light. Back here is your film. Okay? In the middle is a little shutter. It blinks. Okay? And then this controls the amount of light that actually hits your film. Okay? So when you're out there, if you're going to take a picture, you press down on your shutter release halfway, you check your light meter. Okay? If your light meter is saying minus, it's telling you that you need more light. So you're going to open up your aperture. You're going to maybe go from f22 to f5.6. All right. Then, once you know how much light you need, the next step is going to be to either zoom in, which is controlled by this middle area, and then the biggest part of all is going to be your focus. Okay? We want to shoot crisp photos. I want to be able to know what elements of art you took pictures of. So once you have everything figured out, your light meter is green, not a red plus and a green dot, or a red minus and a green dot, a green dot. Okay? You're going to focus it and you're going to take the picture. Okay? Now I suggest shooting 3 examples of line. Don't shoot the same line picture. Alright? Now I did teach you guys SVP, size view placement. I like to use that when I'm shooting something like this. Size refers to, can I see all the way around? So if this is my subject, size, if I'm looking for everything, I want to see everything around it. Okay? If I zoom, I want to crop some of it off, and if I go super zoom, I want to get so close that I might not even know this is a film canister. Okay? So if you use those 3 different views, okay, or if you shoot bird's eye, so I could either hold the camera up here, I could go worm's eye, I can put the camera right down next to it, or I can go eye level and bring it up to my eye. There's 3 shots of the same thing. So you have size and view. Placement, I'm always going to use the rule of thirds. I'm always going to avoid the dead center of my viewfinder. I'm always going to try to line it up on one of those meridians or focal points. So placement's used constantly, but it's up to you to use the view and the size. All right, guys. I hope that little refresher course on the camera helped you guys out. Oh, and please do not forget, when you are done shooting your 24 pictures, don't force the arm. And when you come back to the classroom, again, don't rewind it unless it's in front of me. Flip it over, push that button, and then wind it.
Hi, Mr. Hammer.
Yes.
Tamara Kennedy's here.
Oh, yeah, she can come down.
Thank you.
Yep.